What's going on, guys? Well, a couple weeks ago a subscriber commented on my hammock setup video asking me a couple of questions, like if it's comfortable to sleep sideways in a hammock. And I commented back, I kind of move around a lot when I sleep, so sometimes I'll sleep on my side, sometimes on my back. But I mentioned to him that it might be a little bit more comfortable to side sleep in a ENO double nest, and I have the single nest. And he had asked if I could do a comparison. I looked around on YouTube and actually didn't find any comparisons between the single nest and a double nest, so I thought it'd be a nice original video. I got both hammocks out here today, and we're going to set them up, and I'm going to try to find a nice place where they're nice or close to each other and do a little comparison between the two. Alright, well, I got the hammock set up basically side by side, and the only difference between them two is the different suspension systems. On the left, I have my homemade straps with descending rings, and on the right, it's basically whoopee slings with tree straps. Now, both hammocks are set up with ridge lines, and they're the same exact length. They're around 100 inches. Now, here in the double nest, this is how the hammock comes. It comes with this cord through the middle and a carabiner around the end. And on my hammock, I modified it. I have some different cord and these descending rings. Alright, some basic information about these two hammocks. They're both made from parachute nylon. They will both support 400 pounds, and they're both heavy-duty triple stitched on the ends. Now the difference is, the single nest over here, it's going to run you about $60, and it weighs 17 ounces. And the double nest is going to run you about $70, and it weighs 20 ounces. But the big difference between the two is how wide they are. They are both 9 feet 4 inches long, but the single nest is 4 feet 7 inches wide, and the double nest is 6 feet 2 inches wide, so it's almost 2 feet wider. Now, I've also been using this pillow lately. It's a cocoon travel pillow, and I would say that definitely helps out in the hammock. Alright, I'm going to start with the single nest and some basic information about me. I'm 6'3", 220 pounds, and I've done several backpacking trips with this hammock, and I've slept comfortable in this hammock overnight. Now, one thing you're going to notice is my feet are right at the edge here, and I've had a couple times where my feet will actually come over the side of the hammock and slide out. But I'm still laying pretty flat, and I got a nice diagonal lay. My arm is also pretty close, but this seam does run right up next to my back, and sometimes that will get irritating, and that's when I'll try to pitch over on my side. And one thing I did notice is I really don't get on my side, the side sleep. So for me anyway, can I side sleep in an ENO hammock? The single nest, not truly on my side. I'm pitched, I would say, like on a 45-degree angle, but I'm not completely on my side. Alright, now I'm in the double nest, and as you can tell, there's just a bit more room on this side. And my arm now is inside, and my feet are actually inside the main part of the hammock. So there's obviously a lot more room in the double nest. I'm laying nice and diagonal, nice flat lay, and my feet, there's plenty of room here. My feet are not going to fall out. The double nest is going to be a lot more roomy. Like I said, there's 2 feet more fabric in this hammock. And if you're, stuck between deciding between an ENO hammock, a single, or a double nest, and if you're a larger guy, I would say anyone over 6 foot, I would definitely say double nest. Now, ENO also makes a double nest deluxe, which I think is even 2 feet wider than this. So that's got to be pretty roomy. You're going to be starting to add on some extra weight there. And if you're trying to go a little lighter weight in your backpacking load, that might not be the hammock for you. But this, at only being 3 ounces more, is definitely a good choice. Alright, so I noticed that I actually don't lay completely on my side in my single nest. It's more of a 45-degree angle. Now I'm going to try the double nest and see if I can get, truly on my side. A little bit more, but still I'm still pitched a little bit towards the back. I don't think I can get completely sideways. Alright, I've been tossing around in this thing for a while, and I've noticed that I don't get completely sideways. I'm definitely more on my side than in the single nest, but I'm not completely side sleeping. So I spent about an hour and a half in this hammock, and for comparison to my single nest, the double nest actually feels more comfortable. There's more room. I feel more secure with my feet not hanging off. I can actually lay just slightly flatter because I can get more of a diagonal lay. Now, it's kind of nuts because I've tested out two of my friends' hammocks now, and I like them more than my own hammock because they tend to be more comfortable. To answer your questions about the double nest though, if you're, I would say, over 6 foot, definitely go with the double nest. You're going to have that much more room, you're going to be that much more comfortable. If you're a little bit shorter, say under 6 feet, I think a single nest would be fine. For a backpacking hammock, they're kind of like entry level. I wouldn't say they're necessarily backpacking hammocks. You know, when I first got it, it was my first time getting a hammock. It's my first choice. I basically saw it in the outdoor store and I said, oh, you know, that'd be great to sleep in a hammock. And I really didn't do my research on hammock camping, so it's still a good hammock and I'm going to hold on to it. But in the future, I'm definitely going to go with something that's more designed for, you know, camping. So I know this was kind of a short review between these two hammocks, but for me, it was a pretty easy decision, pretty quick to come to the realization that for me, a double nest would suit me much better than my single nest. I think the trade-off with weight and price really doesn't even matter. I would go with a double nest over a single nest. Now I want to give a shout out to Pinto Blades, you know, for giving me the idea to do this comparison, and I also want to give a shout out to Roby1 Kenobi for letting me borrow his hammock. So down in the description below, there's going to be a link to both of their YouTube channels. Go check those guys out. Now, I'm not a hammock expert, so these are just my opinions. But if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment in the description below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one.